Again with Nextfly, just doing another tutorial using Amazon Web Services, and we're going to launch another instance. Today's instance is going to be a Windows Server instance, and then I'm going to show you how to set up remote desktop connection and all that kind of stuff. So to get started here, this is just going to be a real quick crash course. So to get started, you would log into your EC2 management console just through Amazon Web Services. You have to make an account, put in your billing information, all of that. Once you're in here, you'd go into your services and then pick EC2, and it should look like the screen I was just on, which is here. We're going to go ahead and launch instance, and you've got a bunch of options here. So as you can see, they've got some free tier eligible things for kind of starting up your first server or whatever. I've been going with the 2012 just because that's I've got some software that just works a little bit better than on that, but the 2016 is going to be very similar. But we're just going to go with the R2 base, basically 2012 version, 64-bit. So you select that. Honestly, the Nano has worked fine for smaller, simpler operations that you need, simple programs that you just want running that you can connect to. But this Micro is pretty good also. We have several different servers set up. Some of them are set up for QuickBooks hosting. Some of them are just file storage, and then different point of sale things that we have going on. But a lot of these lower end servers seem to work pretty well. And it just kind of depends on what you have as far as your budget goes. They've got a cost estimator that you can go out and find, but I think the Nano and the Micro, they're like $7 to $15. You know, the Nano is probably like $7 a month. The Micro is probably closer to 15, maybe like 12. But both are pretty decent. I like the fact that we have a gig of memory on this, so I'm just going to roll with the Micro. So we go through here. Here we're just going to do one instance. The network we're going to use, we'll just use the default. I'm going to auto assign public IP, but we may have to actually hook up an elastic IP. The last time I did this, we did. So shutdown behavior is a stop. Go ahead and turn the protect against accidental termination. So that basically makes it so when you're at your display in the EC2 showing all of your different instances, there's one more layer of protection if you wanted to remove the instance from Amazon. So you can't just like accidentally click terminate and then submit and then the whole instance is gone. This is just one extra layer to make sure that that doesn't happen. So we're going to go to storage next. You know, storage is pretty cheap on here, so I'm going to go with actually 50. Actually, let's go 60 gigs. Next, add tags. I don't do this. Security group. We'll just create a new one, and you'll see that I'll just call this strict test RDP server. You'll see that by default, RDP TCP connection port 3389 is available. So that's just going to allow you to connect. That is the default port for remote desktop. That's basically it. We're going to go to review and launch. As far as the key pair goes, I'm going to go ahead and create a new key pair. Strict test RDP. Make sure you download the key. I've had a lot of people not downloading the key pair and saving it in a secure spot. Make sure you do. Back it up somewhere. You lose that. That's going to be bad news for you. Okay, so we're good to go. Let's launch this instance. So now we wait until it's ready to go. I'll be back once it is. So as you can see here, it's pending. It only takes a few minutes for this to actually get fired up. Once it is, we'll be able to get into it. Okay, as you can see, it is done. That took literally less than a minute. So this is pretty quick. It's still initializing, so this might not be totally ready yet, but we'll be able to get in there through remote desktop here very shortly. Let's see. So I'm going to take this one step further and see, we've got this public IP, but I'm not 100% sure if that is actually static or not. So I'm going to go down here to Elastic IPs, and I'm going to create a new IP address and attach it to this. So allocate new address. So that's the IP that we're going to be using now. I'm going to copy that, and we're going to click on it, and we're going to associate that with the instance right there. That is our new instance. That's fine. Associate. So now that we've done that, go back here to the dashboard, running instances. You will see that the IP address has changed and the public DNS has also. So you can use this to connect using remote desktop, or you can use this. Still waiting on the initializing here. But now that we have the static IP, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go and create a record on one of my domain names so I can remember this easier. So log into your domain registrar, whatever that may be. In this case, I'm using GoDaddy. You log in, get to your domain. You can see strict.com. This is just a throwaway domain I have, not really being used for anything other than these kind of walkthroughs. DNS zone file. I'm just going to create a new record, and it's going to be an A record. The host name is going to be remote, and it points to that IP address that we just created, that Elastic IP. And I'm going to turn the time to live down to a half hour. Finish. Once we do that, we got this big red bar that says make sure you save changes. I'm going to save changes. Now, that might take a little bit of time to propagate. We'll see. Okay, still initializing. I'm going to go ahead and right-click on it, get Windows password. Okay, we got the key name here. We got to get the key pair out, which happens to be in our downloads folder. Strict, there it is. Okay, so I just brought that in there. It's going to decrypt, and there's our password. Now, this is the administrator password. I'm going to show you how to change that so it's not some really long password once we get in there, but you need to have that here. So I'm going to go ahead and screenshot this just so I've got it as a backup on my desktop. We can always come in here and decrypt that anytime as long as we have that key file. You lose the key file, then you're kind of out of luck. So this is just another backup to make sure we have that for now. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get into remote desktop here and start setting this up. So open this up, got a few servers in there already. Connection name, we'll just call it strict test. And it's going to be that A record we made. So remote.strict.com, no gateway required. Username is administrator. Password is the password that we just got. We're going to scale content. We're not going to start in full screen. I'm going to choose a size of 1280 by 1024. Okay, that looks good. Now let's see if this works. Boom. Well, it logged us in. Let's give it a second here and see what happens. All right, so here we are. Server is loaded. You got a little bit of information up here about the IP addresses and stuff. You can change the background if you want. I don't really care. So I'm going to go in here and we're going to change user stuff. Let's actually do a search on that. Here we go. This is just a fast way of doing this. So change account type, change password. Current password is that weird one they gave me, and now I'm going to change it to what I want it to be. Boom. So now the next time we log into your, you have a new password. But all in all, that is how you configure this. Again, I'm using a Mac, but the only difference to connect to the server is you'd use the remote desktop program. It's right installed inside of Windows. But you just type in that same host name, or you could always use the IP address here, or you could use this public DNS host name here. Either way is going to get you to the same place. I just like it, so if I'm out and about, I want to connect to my server to look something up for whatever reason, I don't have to remember what this is. I don't have to remember what this is. That's why I did that GoDaddy step on creating an A record. But that is a bare bones breakdown of how to build a quick Windows Server instance. And I mean, that couldn't have been more than 5-10 minutes. So I hope you found this informative. Thank you.